Hello guys, welcome ladies and gentlemen to Mando Monday. This is of course the series where you guys ask the questions and I of course answer them. This could be anything related to Counter-Strike Global Offensive, CSGO investing, Star Wars because I really don't mind it, it's alright. What do I do on my free time? Or what's my favorite drink besides water? And if you guys want a chance at your question getting answered next week, make sure you leave it down in the comment section, ask Mando and then ask your question. It's usually the easiest for me to just spot it out and look through it. And of course you can answer and ask those different questions on different videos, not just my Mando Monday video. Without further ado, this video and this channel wouldn't really be possible without our sponsor, Skins Monkey.
Hi you! Yes, you! Would you like to get $5 for free for your first trade? Just use skinsmonkey.com and get your extra skins. See description below to enjoy the special promotion and receive 5% cashback for trading your CSGO skins.
Now, it's been about 2 days since I recorded that video about Super Hot Fire, and I gotta say, ever since it was posted, I did not expect that video to go the way it went. I did not expect it to get the reception it went. I was expecting for me to get blackmailed or some sort of drama behind the scenes of that, but it went a lot better than expected. I'm really grateful and I'm really happy that everyone really saw the truth in that, and I wasn't just the only person who saw that, and I'm glad I got some people's attention on that matter. Thank you for that. Without further ado, let's hop right into the questions first. So our first question up here is from Meaty. He says, ask Mando, do you think trade-ups for agents will ever become a thing as they become more popular? Could there be Cato 14 equivalents to agents, do you think? I personally don't think so, but what about you? So this is probably by far the most creative question I've seen in the past few months on this channel and for this series specifically. So agents, I think, are going to be those things that are going to be profitable. It's very similar to patches. I can really relate it to that. It's just the market is very small. It's very niche. Not everyone is going to want to buy patches and, of course, agents. Agents also don't really seem to be the thing they're going to be trading up to. I think they're going to be more of a thing you get in operations, kind of maybe like a battle pass in Fortnite, for an example, or something along the lines of that. Or, of course, you buy them. I just don't really see them being trade-upable and tradable in the future like that, but I could be wrong. And, of course, whatever goes for Cato 14 for agents, I don't think we'll ever see that. I think maybe the Sir Bloody Darrels and the earlier on skins for agents in CSGO, like the Sir Bloody Darrels and maybe things from Operation Shattered Web will be expensive in the future, but for right now it's not really looking like that. And of course Cato 14, I understand what you're saying by that, but the reason that's so expensive of course is because of the low quantity and of course the name behind it more than actually how the stickers look specifically. So that's kind of my two takes on it. So I agree with you what you're saying on that. And also to note, the videos next week and this next Mando Monday, the quality is going to be a lot better and a lot different. I'm currently a different environment, as you can tell without Chewbacca, which we will be returning that eventually. So I just wanted to update people on that, and the microphone will be changed, of course. I have a $500 microphone, and I'm using this piece of garbage. It's one of the first ones on YouTube, which is great, but I have a way better one, of course. Video, full bear mode, sell, sell, sell. I completely agree, man. If you guys got items that have gone up a lot in value the past little while, especially maybe some operation skins that are from a collection that will be played in the next major, which is a question in this video, I might look into selling that myself, and also maybe you should look into maybe selling that as well, because those prices might go down if we get souvenirs of that in the future, especially if they're a red or something. But that's obviously gonna be short term. The Fly Savage. Okay, this man asks Mando, what do you think of Katowice 2015 stickers? So my opinion has not really changed. It's changed a little bit in the past couple years, but overall nothing's really changed. I think they're really good looking stickers. The reason my opinion has changed a tiny bit is obviously because of things like Stockholm. If we continue to get events like Stockholm where the stickers are very, very good and majority of people are going to want to buy those over buying a really expensive old sticker in the future, I think that these could hurt older investments inside CSGO if we get more events like this. Like if the Antwerp Major has transparent background stickers or they look similar to Katowice 2015 or even DreamHack 2014, it's not that these will be devalued, it's just that the money that you could have made without these stickers coming out will take a lot longer to make. So Stockholm 2021 did not come out. I believe that older stickers like Katowice 2014 and 15 would have gone up a lot higher than they did, and they're just going to take a little longer to make money on. That's all I really feel about it. They're still really good. Now our next question up here from Ruben. He says, ask Mando, if I were to hold my Stockholm investments for the long one, what returns would you expect to see on the sticker? So good question by this man. I think that this is a pretty popular question for amongst a lot of people, including myself. I'm holding a lot of Stockholm stickers for the long run. I believe Stockholm to be a really special event that we only see once in a blue moon, like I've stated in the past previous videos. And what I mean by that is I've talked about in recent videos that sticker investing into majors is kind of a one-off thing now. It's really a 50-50 chance, and it's all really based along in the end if those teams do really, really well, or if someone disbands. People like the stickers, including the Chinese people, because they're really really big on crafting and of course buying up a lot of the supply and market. And these seem to be it. These seem to be really popular. And I don't think Valve is going to remake stickers that look very, very good in the future, at least like this anytime soon. But I could be completely wrong on that. But even if that's the case, Stockholm could be very similar to something like Katowice. Not in price, but more so of the name itself. People like rare items. And with that, I think Stockholm is going to be one of those rare things in the future. I think in 5 or 6 years time, we're going to see pretty insane prices in some of these things, but only time will tell. But the numbers kind of add up with that, right? Just based on the quantity alone with something like the Challenger's capsule and of course the mouse stickers, which are insanely popular because they look really good. Our next question comes, okay, ask Mando, what do you think about the low amount of skins from the Vertigo 2021 collection? Will it have an impact on future prices of these skins? For example, there's only 1,000 imminent danger M4s. I'm glad you asked this because with the next major coming up here very, very soon, people are going to have this question and I want it to be answered. I've talked about this in the past with the Vertigo collection specifically. I have a very different opinion, I feel like, than most other CSGO YouTubers on this, and I think it's pretty valid, my point here. The Imminent Danger is a skin that not a lot of people like. In the Vertigo collection, there's a reason there's not a whole lot of these skins and these collections on the market. There wasn't really a whole lot of demand for this collection when it was out, and I still don't think there's going to be in the future. Usually when there's a new CSGO skin that comes out or something along the lines of that that's pretty controversial, I'll go ask people that don't play CSGO, that maybe play Valorant or something completely different like a Nintendo, like Super Smash Bros, and see if they like this skin specifically and people in the CSGO community. And if the majority of people that I find that don't like this skin or something along the lines of this, I usually find it not to be the greatest investment, because if it's not a good looking skin or a good looking sticker or whatnot, it's probably not the best thing. And I've also said this in the past, just because something is extremely rare doesn't mean you can set it and make it whatever price you want it. You know, there's tons of stickers, there's tons of different items in the CSGO market some people don't even know about. There's a very low number of them, very low quantity, but just because they're rare does not mean they're really, really expensive, because obviously they don't have a lot of demand behind them. And I don't really think these things are going to have a whole lot of demand in the future, but I could be completely wrong. I think the price is obviously going to be bound to go up with something like this because it is extremely rare, but I think it's going to take a lot longer than I think a lot of people think this is going to be to make a quick profit on a quick buck. Now our next question up from Mucha. He says, ask Mando, is the Desert Eagle hand cannon going to raise in price like it did last summer during the hype? So people who are unfamiliar with what the hand cannon is, essentially it is a restricted pistol, a purple to be exact, in the Cobblestone collection. And if you guys don't know, the Cobblestone collection contains the Dragon Lore, the M4A1S Knight, and some other skins that are really, really expensive, like this one specifically. And of course, this can be used up into trade-ups in this. And I think this thing is going to go up no matter what throughout the history of time going forward into the future. But yes, I do think this thing is going to go up during the summer hype if we do have one, because in a way, I feel like we've already had some sort of summer hype the past couple months. With the amount of people investing into CSGO, the amount of people playing, and of course the money coming in, a lot of people are playing the game and buying new skins, which I think has caused a lot of the cases and whatnot to go up quite a bit. But I think if time repeats itself, which probably it will, we're going to see some sort of summer hype. And I think we're going to see things like this go up in price, and it's going to be pretty interesting to see. Our next question up from Meaty Schmeedy. He says, ask Mando. Everyone asks you if this or that will come for the 10th anniversary of CSGO, but what do you specifically think is going to come for the anniversary, if anything? For me, I think something will come for the 10th anniversary for CSGO. I think we're either going to get a case of some sorts, possibly a CS20 knife or a classic knife with the chroma finishes, for an example. But a part of me doesn't really think that, because that case was not really popular. Sure, the skins inside of it were pretty good looking. Those knives specifically are some of the worst received knives in CSGO. Not really anyone likes them. They're pretty much glorified butter knives. And I think we're already getting some sort of sticker capsule, I believe, for this, which I think is pretty good. I think we should get maybe a community update. I think maybe we should get some sort of interview maybe with the devs where we can ask them a question. I'd like to see that possibly. Maybe get some more news or a trailer possibly for Source 2 or a new game for CSGO. Possibly a new way to trade skins. That would be pretty cool. But realistically, in reality, I don't think anything's going to happen besides maybe a sticker capsule, maybe a community update where we get some sort of information from the devs about something. I'd like to see that, but I don't think that's going to happen. It's just really hard to say since it is Valve and they're very secretive about everything they do. Now, Sage comes up with another question, okay? He says, ask Mando, should I sell my gold Arabesque and make around 300 profit for each one, non-souvenirs? So something I talked about at the beginning with obviously the collections for the major is that when we receive this next major, right, this map is obviously going to be played in the major. We're going to get souvenirs from that. And obviously we have older souvenirs from Stockholm. Even though they're not souvenirs that you have, they might affect the price a little bit because there's going to be so many brought into the market and people are going to see the point of buying obviously a souvenir rather than the normal one. And right now, these are of course pretty rare, the normal version. And if you're going to hold them for the long term, they're going to go up even more and more and more because we're most likely, if not ever, going to see these ever again in CSGO, the normal version. So you could either take the quick profit right now, which is going to be pretty good. You might not see this for another year. You have to remember that. Since CSGO skins are so hyped up right now, so inflated in price, it's usually a good time to sell during this time of the year, any year that we've had the past, I would say, 3 or 4 years in CSGO. So if you're going to take the profit now, just know, I think you're doing the right thing, But if you do hold, just know as well, you might be holding for another year or so if you want to see these 300 euro profit. Now our next question up from Neo, he says, do you think the fracture case is a good investment right now? So any sort of case in the market right now I think is a horrible investment, but if I had to be asked one case that was not too bad, it would probably be the fracture case, but it would be more for a long-term investment, just like any of these cases. The fracture case is the most likely, I think, to get removed for this next update whenever the next case does get added to CSGO. Just because it's at least unboxed, we're probably going to get chroma finishes for the Shattered Web Knife, and Valve is probably not going to want people to try and get the older knives in CSGO because they're going to want to force people to buy the newer case and the new keys for that. And of course, these knives aren't the most wanted in CSGO, and it's kind of very similar to Danger Zone, where I'd recommend buying this thing earlier on, and then obviously trying to make a quick buck when this thing gets removed. That's usually what I say about a lot of cases that are pretty cheap, like the Prisma 2. These cases are going to be good for when they first get removed. The first like 12 hours of these things getting removed, they're going to have FOMO, people are going to panic sell, panic buy, and of course open these things like crazy. And these things could go to 30 cents possibly. That's really pushing it. So this is going to be a really long-term investment in my personal opinion, because there's nothing really desirable that's really insane in here right now. But 12 cents for this case, I think it's a little high. You know, the fact that you could have bought it for 4 and 5 just a couple months ago, or even a few weeks ago at this point, I think you've kind of missed the boat on this, and same with a lot of other investments inside CSGO right now. Now, our next question up from Carlos, he says, do you think the Talon Knife is a good investment? Formed Baby Brothers Karambit friend, okay? We are with the Talon Knife now. I don't like the Talon. I hate the fact that when you pull it back out, when you're switching to an op, hitting a quad shot on Kenny S dust too long. I've done this multiple times, right? I'm destroying all of G2 long as Mando, and then I pull out my Talon, and it takes up half my screen like it's waving to you. I don't need to be waving to someone in the grand finals of a match. No. I really don't. Knife investments are some of the worst investments, if not the worst, inside of CSGO, because they bring you the worst ROI, especially the lower tier ones. Like if you're not buying a Sapphire or a Ruby, they're absolutely horrible, especially for the older knives in CSGO or something like the Butterfly Knife, for example. Knives make the least amount of profit on pretty much anything inside CSGO right now, and really have been for the past few years. You know, a few months ago when I saw people like Suka Hot Fire talking about knife investments and knife investing into something like a Forest DD Pat for the Karambit, I couldn't believe it. I honestly, I was lost for words, because something like that, it's gone up recently due to the only thing, China's new website called Upin, which essentially is the North American version of Loot Bear, which is essentially a trading website where you can just set up a store and people rent CSGO skins. So what Chinese people were doing, and people who wanted to open a store there, it's kind of similar to Buff. I think it's using the same code or the same people who own that website. You have a storefront and people are buying up lower tier skins like Karambits and Safari meshes for lower tier knives and putting that on their store. They can make a faster ROI and they just get a quick buck essentially. And that's the reason the entire market was up, especially for the lower tier end of skins and of course knives. And we're probably not going to see that for a long time, because I don't see another website coming out at this size and this magnitude in a country as big as China, obviously, that has a big presence in CSGO. That was just an example, but yeah, unless you're investing in a really higher tier knife for like an older knife, I really can't in any good faith, unless it's like a play skin investment. Even then, it's hard for me to suggest that as an investment. Now, our last question up here from, we're just going to call you SpongeBob, all right, my man? What is the best case to invest in right now? Nothing. I'm going to be honest. Nothing right now is looking good on the market. Everything is too high. You had that opportunity 2 or 3 months ago. I would suggest waiting if you want to make the max amount of profit. Right now, you can play things like the fracture case or even like the clutch case, possibly make a very short-term profit. You have to know these things are not going to last forever. They're active duty. They're very dangerous to buy in at a very extremely high price because they are still dropping. They're pretty much bound to go down at any point in time. You have to remember that. So I would personally wait at least until the earlier months of next year or the later part of this year, or possibly during the major sale. We don't really know when these things are going to go down. I'm assuming we're going to see some sort of dip in everything, probably during the major sale, and as soon as these stickers get added, because people are going to want to buy these to open them. But only time will tell. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's version and video of Mando Monday. If you do, please comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter. Link in the description below. I'll see you.